It's interesting as I think about it because I could recall for a majority of my adult, maybe even adolescent, but definitely adult life, something I've always valued in others was genuineness, honesty, being genuine, being authentic. A lot of the people that I'm closest to in my life, my brother, my wife, my best friend, they are like in many ways the epitome of that. So it's always been something that I've valued and aspired towards. But at the same time, always recognized that I didn't have it, and I think that's why I aspire. I was drawn to them so much, which is kind of an interesting paradox. If that's what you value, why aren't you doing it? You could see it in others, you value it in others. Why aren't you doing it? Why can't you be honest? Why can't you be genuine? Why can't you be yourself? And interestingly, what I think I've started to realize, which probably most people realize this much earlier, but it took me some time, is that for you to be genuine, for you to be honest with other people, the prerequisite step is you have to be honest with yourself first. Particularly if you're someone like me, who, as I've said, is kind of a recovering people pleaser. There is such a fear there, right? If you haven't worked it out for yourself, if you're not honest with yourself, and you're coming from this place of kind of hiding behind your own lies and inconvenient truths, you have so many blind spots, you have so many things internally that you can't reconcile and work out for yourself. It's almost impossible to go out and be genuine to other people and be honest to other people, because being honest to other people sometimes is easy, but often it's hard. There's a vulnerability there. You're putting yourself out there. You're exposing yourself in many ways. And at least for myself, I can't do that if I don't know what the risk is. The fear of that, when it's uncertain and it's unknown, because I don't have my own shit worked out, makes it almost impossible, if not impossible, to do. And I think that's the dilemma I found myself in for so long, and still to an extent, was exactly that. I was too afraid, didn't know how, didn't have the toughness, didn't have the ability, whatever, to really be honest with myself about what I wanted, what I thought, what I felt, what I was afraid of, what I wasn't good at, all those things. And therefore, because I hadn't worked that out, when I was talking to somebody else, I had to be dishonest with them. I had to put forth this image or this picture that didn't expose those things I hadn't worked out yet. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the credibility is not really the right word, but I hadn't done the work. I hadn't done the work to where I could confidently go out and be honest with somebody else. There was too much unknown to it. And I see that so much now that I'm hopefully starting to improve on some of that, and I'm being much more honest with myself. The conversations I can have with people, all different people, family, my wife, my boss at work, friends, etc. I see myself being honest with them now, and what I recognize is that fear, that uncertainty of what might come from that, the fear of the vulnerability of what that might expose, is almost non-existent, because I've already done it. I've already been honest with myself. I've already gone through that fire and faced what it might be. So sure, there's things they could say or do that might throw me for a loop and might still cause issues. That's always possible. But the bulk of it, the majority of it, which held me back for so long, I've already been through it. I've already tested it in myself and pressure tested it and questioned it and explored it. And with that ferocious open-mindedness and that ferocious skepticism, I've done that work. So when I put it out there in front of somebody else, the fear's gone. That fear isn't there. And it's allowed me to achieve that thing I've been seeking for so long, the ability to actually feel authentic and feel genuine. So that concept of you can't be honest with other people until you're honest with yourself just rings so true for me.